everyone, my name is Leah and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I bought in fall. This is going to include books I got at the end of September, in October, and in November. And yes, I know that it is December now. I am very behind on things. I have a bunch of physical books to talk about as well as a few ebooks. First book that I got was The Black Veins, and I got this right before they announced the anniversary edition of this, which is really pretty, and I'm kind of bummed because I want that anniversary edition now because the art is so cool. This is a YA fantasy. I know it has found family elements. I'm pretty sure there's an ace character. There's lots of queer characters in this from what I've heard, and other than that I honestly don't know that much about it, but I've heard good things, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. Also, this is like a hefty paperback. This is like a taller paperback than paperbacks usually are. Like the next book, this is a normal size paperback. This one is a bit taller. Then the next book is If We Were Villains by ML Rio, and I'm really excited to read this because I know it's dark academia and I haven't really read that much dark academia and I really want to try some. Also, I'm pretty sure this is gay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I've heard that this is gay. And it also has to do a lot with theater. I think it takes place at a college. There's some sort of mystery. I'm really looking forward to reading this. And I'm supposed to read it before the end of this year. Will that happen? Probably not. The next book is another theater book I am really excited about, and that is Echo After Echo by Amy Rose Capetta. I absolutely love the cover of this and the lights on the cover. This is an adult romance and mystery, and I'm very excited for that. This is sapphic and it has a romance between an actor and an assistant lighting designer, so I am very excited to try this out. The cover is so pretty. It has to do with lighting. It's sapphic. I'm really hoping that I like this book. The next book is The Black Kids by Christina Hammond Reed, and this is a YA book that follows the main character Ashley Bennett and her friends after the Rodney King riots in LA. This is an arc that I got in a giveaway and it's so delightfully floppy. I love floppy paperbacks. The next book is another arc, and that is Skyward Inn by Aaliyah Whitley. And yes, I know the front does not say Skyward Inn, the spine does, but that's the title of it. This is an arc, so I think this is not what the final copy will look like. This is a sci-fi book, and I'm really trying to branch out into sci-fi more because I really like the sci-fi I've read recently. This comes out on March 16th, 2021 in the US and on the 18th of March in the UK. I'm really excited to read this, and I think it'll be a relatively quick read because it's a short book. Also, I know this isn't the final cover, but the cover is really cool. The next book I don't have with me. It's still at my parents' house because I moved really recently, and that is The Love Curse of Melody Mcintyre by Robin Talley, and I got this as an arc and it came out on December 1st, and I did already read it. You will see my thoughts on it in a future vlog as well as my future December wrap-up. This is a YA contemporary sapphic theater tech book, and it follows the main character Melody Mcintyre, who is a stage manager at her high school, and she has to kind of swear off falling in love for their play because of the curse that is supposedly on their theater. The next book is Surrender Your Sons by Adam Sass, which I have not read yet, but I am very excited to read. This came out pretty recently, and this is a YA like contemporary thriller. I'm not completely sure on the genre, but it takes place at a gay conversion camp, and I've heard really good things about this book, so I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. I do think that this is definitely a book that deals with some hard topics, as do several of these books. So definitely look up trigger warnings beforehand if that's something you need for any of these books. I usually put trigger warnings down in the description box, but I haven't read a lot of these, so I won't be doing that for this particular video. But that's something I usually do for like my wrap-ups and tags where I mention books that I read before. I'm really looking forward to reading this. The next book I got was a graphic novel, and that is On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden, which I did already read and absolutely loved. You will see me talk about it in a future wrap-up because I am behind on my wrap-ups. I still have to film and edit my October wrap-up, and it is December. This is a sapphic graphic novel. It's a chunker, but it's worth it. Also, because it's a graphic novel, it doesn't take that long to get through, and there are pages that like I'm trying to find a non-spoilery page to show you. Here, I'll show you a page in the beginning. And like there are pages where there aren't that many words, but you can appreciate how beautiful the art is, so it's pretty easy to get through. And such a lovely sapphic story, such a lovely found family story. The art is beautiful. I loved this so much. It was so good. Everyone please read this. Look at how beautiful the cover is. Look at how beautiful the spine is. It's just such a good book. I just love this book. The next book that I got is The Dark Tide, which just has a beautiful cover. I love the cover so much. This is sapphic. There's like a witch queen. I think every year there's like a sacrifice that has to happen, and it's usually a boy that gets sacrificed, but this year I think the main character decides to sacrifice herself, and I'm assuming that there's like a little romance going on between her and the witch queen. I'm not totally sure about that because I have not read this, but I have heard it's sapphic. I've heard very good things about this. I think this is YA fantasy. I'm pretty sure. The next book that I got was A Lot's Away by Darcy Littlebadger. The main character of this is Lapana Apache, and so is the author. And I have already read this and I really liked it. This follows the main character Ellie, who can raise the ghosts of dead animals. The world of this book is basically our America, but with some added magic and supernatural aspects, and it's so interesting. There's mystery elements, and Ellie is also asexual, and I really liked that. This is a really interesting book, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else Darcy Littlebadger writes in the future. Also, this book is just so gorgeous. The cover is pretty. It's a really like dense book. It's very heavy. The pages are like really thick, and so it was a really pleasant like reading experience. And also it has deckled edges. I know some people don't like deckled edges, but I love deckled edges. The next book that I got was Foundryside by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is a fantasy that I've heard so many good things about, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. I've heard it has heists and found family, which are two things that I love, so I'm really looking forward to this. The next book that I got was Black Sun by Rebecca Rohnhorst, which is an adult fantasy that I have also heard so many good things about. This came out really recently, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. I don't know that much about it other than I've seen so many people I know really love it. I know this is a fantasy inspired by pre-Columbian America, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. I also know there's a bi-main character, which has me even more excited. This is also just such a gorgeous book. And look at these map end pages. So pretty. The next book I got is The Black Tides of Heaven by Neon Yang, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. This is the first book in a series, I believe, and I know there's at least one non-binary character in this. I'm very excited to read it, especially because this is the January pick for the Bibliophiles book club that I'm one of the co-hosts of, and I'm really looking forward to reading this and discussing it with everyone. It's also really short. I think it might be considered a novella, and I'm really looking forward to this. I've heard good things. The cover is pretty. I'm very excited. This is only 231 pages. I know this is fantasy. I don't know that much about the plot, but I'm really excited to read this. I also got the Check Please Chirp book by Ngozi Ukazu. This is a little extra that goes with her Check Please graphic novels, and these started out as a webcomic that was published online, and there's also some transmedia storytelling aspects to it, and the main character Biddy has a Twitter, and this book collects all of his tweets. And I know we've seen some of the tweets before, but the author put the Twitter on private for a while because it would have had spoilers for places that we we're not at yet in the comic, and I think this is the first time all of the tweets have been collected in one place, so I'm really excited that I got this. I got this through her Kickstarter, and it also came with some additional things like some art prints and stickers, which I am really excited about because they're adorable, and I'm really excited. I think I've read most of the tweets before, but I'm excited to read them all in one place. We are down to the last few books, and these books, one of them I got from a family member who was giving it away, and the others I got from a friend who was giving books away, so I got these all for free. Some of the other books in this video I got through giveaways and things like that I am very grateful to have won. But the first book is Agatha Christie, Double Sin and Other Stories, which is a collection of Agatha Christie short stories, and I haven't read any of these. There have been a couple Agatha Christie books I've read and really liked. I have a bunch more Agatha Christie books I haven't read yet, and I haven't read any of her short stories yet, so I'm interested in picking this up. The next thing that I got is this little collector's library edition of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This is just such a cute little edition, and when I saw my friend was getting rid of it, I had to pick it up because it's just so small and adorable, and it has like shiny gold edges. I just love how cute this is. And the last physical book that I have is this fancy edition of Moby Dick by Herman Melville. No, I have not read this. It's a chunker. I'm slightly scared to read this, and honestly the only reason I even picked this up is first off because it's this pretty edition, but also because my friend Liv, who has a blog, and I'll link her book blog down below, she loves Moby Dick. So I kind of picked this up because of her. I feel like I at least have to try Moby Dick because of Liv. I have no idea if I will like this. I have no idea when I will pick it up, but I own it now. Now on to ebooks that I got. I got the first book in the Foxhole Court trilogy for free because it is free on Kindle. I got it to do what I thought was going to be a complete joke buddy read with some friends. Honestly, I didn't think I was actually going to read it. I have lots of problems with this series, but it is extremely, extremely addicting. I would not say that I recommend it, but it was a fun time and I got completely absorbed. I will be talking about those in another future wrap-up that I have yet to film. Then the next thing that I got was a bundle of the Bone Season trilogy by Samantha Shannon. I know this is adult fantasy. Honestly, I don't know that much about it, but I've heard good things. I've also heard there are lots of queer characters. I am very excited for that. Before a couple months ago, I had no idea that there were queer characters in this, and then I found out that the Priory of the Orange Tree, which I haven't read, but it's sapphic, I found out that they're by the same author, and I was like, wait, is Bone Season also queer, or is that just Priory? And my friend was like, oh no, there's lots of queer characters. So I was then interested, and I saw the bundle of the books for really cheap on ebook for a deal one day, so I got them. I then got a book called A Fairy of Bones and Gold by Haley Turner. Honestly, I don't really know what this is about. It's urban fantasy. It was free on Kindle, so I got it. The next ebook that I got was Cute Mutants Volume 1 Mutant Pride by S.J. Whitby. I've heard this pitched as like YA queer X-Men, so I'm very excited to try it out, though I haven't read it yet. I don't believe this is a graphic novel. I think it's just a book. So the volume 1 title I think is just because it has like a graphic novel superhero feel to it, even though it's not a graphic novel. But I could be completely wrong about that. But based on the length of the book, I feel like it's not a graphic novel. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'll find out. I don't think it is. Then the last ebook that I got was another bind-up, and that was the Bright Ascendancy trilogy by Arsenault Rivera. I own the first book in this, Tiger's Daughter, and I have not finished it. I started reading it, and then I spilled tea all over the book, and I had to let it dry, and then I never picked it back up. So that's where I'm at with that book. But the ebook bundle of this had a deal one day, so I went ahead and got it. This is an adult fantasy. It's sapphic. I'm very excited to read the whole trilogy. So those are all of the books that I got in the fall. If you have read any of these and think I should prioritize any of them, please let me know. If you've gotten to this point in the video, let's say leave me some sort of like fall leaf emoji or some sort of other fall related emoji, even though it is now winter, because these are the books that I got in the fall, which is why I put on this orange sweater for this video, to try to give it slightly more fall vibes. Not that I can't wear this orange sweater in other seasons because I've been wearing it during the winter, but I wanted to give this video slightly more fall vibes, especially considering I have a Christmas tree that we put up yesterday right over there. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you later. My brain just lost the ability to function. Trying to branch out into spy sci. I just said spy sci instead of sci-fi. I just went to check how many pages that this has, and I accidentally read the last sentence. Thankfully it wasn't a really spoilery last sentence, but I'm a fool.